Hey, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are, whoever you are. This is yours truly, the Grand Queen, coming at you. Happiest and safe Juneteenth. We're about celebrating a new year and Juneteenth celebration. As you can see, it's not just a holiday, there's a hidden weight to Juneteenth. It still hurts emotionally. However, it's a collective effort to help heal among one another. So we're here to help heal tonight. This is a hot moment at the pit stop tonight. Here we are at the pit stop with yours truly again, the Grand Queen, coming at you. Over those of you who had the holiday, who had the day off today, I hope that you had a safe Juneteenth. And listen, this should be ongoing, not just in the month of June, because we celebrate life. We celebrate each other on a day-to-day basis. And listen, if it's not done collectively, it's much more of a challenge. Tonight we're just chiming in with you. We're just here with you, and we just wanted to share the hidden weights of Juneteenth. It still hurts. We're talking about freedom. How free are we in America? How free are we in this world, locally and globally? What are some of the hidden things that is weighing us down when it comes to freedom? I guess somebody is like, they got the church finger, like, hold on, let me just tell you. I guess some other people, others are saying, listen, I got a whole kit and caboodle, a whole boatload of stuff, a whole book bag load of things that have hurt my family, that has hurt society emotionally, and and to share those hidden weights. Those conversations need to be said, need to be heard, they need to come to light, we need to be aware of how we are hurting emotionally. And some people did not have the day off. It's supposed to be uh, a holiday, in the calendar. However, some people had to work today. It's supposed to have been a federal holiday. Some people were shocked that they had to work today. And listen, that hurts. That all uh, municipalities did not honor today as a federal holiday, as a holiday. Say, hey, let's take off. Let's do this thing fully collectively. Let's do this thing, the whole, everything as full support, accountability, acknowledgement, and affirming yes, so that we can help remove the stigmas of any hidden weights concerning freedom. This is about human rights. This is about we as a people, as Black people, as people of color. We all have experienced so many different traumas, from racism, from discrimination, and people dictating to us what freedom uh, should mean to us, dictating to us on what freedom personifies. And listen, we've come a long way, and we have further to go, and we will go further, because now we know what freedom is. And for those who do not know what freedom is, we're going to talk about it. Share your thoughts at J Tire Forum 1 on YouTube. Share your thoughts on Juneteenth and the hidden weights that you have experienced, your family has experienced. Share some of the things that are hurting you emotionally when it comes to living a life of freedom. We all have different stories. No one story is the same, right? And we are not. I have to say, sometimes we have been treated in society mm, as though we are replicas. We replicas of each other. We are not. We are uniquely made. We are creatively made, and we there's no one size fits all when it comes to freedom. Freedom is freedom. Uh, Being a human is freedom. Being a person of color, being a Black person, being African American, wherever you come from, wherever your roots are, we are still learning freedom, and we must become more aware of the meaning of freedom. It's a lot going on in the country today, worldwide. This It doesn't matter where we are. It doesn't matter where we live, we're still black. It doesn't matter how much money we have, we are still black. We are still a human. We are still African. We are still creatively, wonderfully made. And this is why we can celebrate Juneteenth. And not all people believe that, uh, not all people understand Juneteenth. We're talking about, again, what freedom means to us. It's not about a holiday. We're talking about extending, understanding freedom and liberation, the emotional part of it, emotional liberation. What are our options and how do we celebrate? So, again, this is the Grand Queen coming at you tonight from the pit stop. We are laid back tonight, just chilling, just relaxing, and just, taking it all in, trying to figure out, what resonates with you on, you know, being free in this country, being free anywhere as a person of color, as a black person, as an African American, whatever your culture is, whatever your heritage is, what resonates with you when it comes to freedom, emotional liberation, that part, because we're about it, and advocating for emotional support. What resonates with you when it comes to emotional liberation, right? So again, it still hurts. It still hurts sometimes, the way that things are, or the ideology that some people have when it comes to freedom, right? But we celebrate emotional liberation. How do you celebrate emotional liberation? By naming pain, seeking therapy, and honoring joy, finding out what kind of joy, what joy is, and how joy is equally as important in your life, and how it supports your emotional health, right? Your emotional, how to become emotionally liberated, that part, right? So we celebrate you. We celebrate Juneteenth because we are emotionally liberated. We've had a long, hard journey trying to become, we are physically liberated. Sometimes because of the stigmas and other ideology and people, it feels as though you're right back at square one because of, you're not accepted or you're treated in an indifferent way. Just because you're different, you're being treated indifferently, and it's time to stop that. That is a hidden weight for some people are suffering silently. You cannot not be accepted. This is how exceptional we are. We cannot not be accepted. We are exceptional, and we must remove those hidden weights among ourselves, right? So again, how do we celebrate? How do we liberate our emotional selves? By naming that pain, seeking therapy, and honoring joy with one another. That part, right? So here we are. So again, welcome to the pit stop with yours truly, the Grand Queen, coming at you. Listen, mental health and freedom to feel. We have the ability, and we are human. We're human. I heard, somebody say, first, before you are a human, you are a black person. I say it's interconnected. It's no before, during, or after with that one. It is, that's the bottom line. That's it. So, how do we do this thing collectively? Is there silence around emotional trauma in our black communities because of the lack of understanding freedom? How do we understand freedom? Freedom starts with the emotions. It's a part of the emotions. My grandparents rather, they celebrated joy. They celebrated life so differently by cooking, by collective efforts such as having cookouts, having dinner parties, having huge events. because they were community leaders. Um, they knew how people felt. They knew the struggle that people were going through, and they were always inviting people to eat. I'm like, wow, we always eating. But the reason why there was always food galore, food flowing like a river, is because that's what attracted people to have conversations about their emotional struggle. It was a safe space for them because food, what does food do? Food brings what? Comfort. I'm just saying. No matter what it is, whether it's cultural food, whatever kind of food, Southern food, it brings comfort and it generates conversations. It generates conversations for things to, for awareness, for things to come into the open. And then from there, you find links. We're talking about a connection. It connects to joy. It connects to resolve. It connects to solving an issue. It connects to awareness. So food, oh, it's a part of celebrating life. It's a part of Juneteenth. It's a part of our emotional liberation because it starts the conversation. It starts the ball. It gets the ball rolling, and it also helps to uh, expose the pain. So that's some of the things my grandparents did. They didn't necessarily celebrate Juneteenth, but they celebrated life. It was always a cultural something that connected to life and also extended life. And it always, most of the time, started with food to prompt conversations. That's what, and that's how you begin to name your pain. That's where you begin to seek types of therapy and find out what joy is and honor joy among one another. So, and this happened across generations. This happened with among the millennials. Because all types of, or each generation was always at these parties, at these gatherings. At It wasn't just church. It was sometimes we would take like road trips, and different generations would be a part of the celebration, a part of the road trips, a part of anything. And we listened to each other. And we all had trauma. Believe me, we all had trauma. We just didn't have in at one point there wasn't enough opportunity to bring awareness to our issues. But we learned as we went along. We learned on how to seek therapy. We learned how to name our pain, and we learned how to honor joy and actually pinpoint joy and honor it for ourselves and among each other. And that's something I'm still learning. But it's one thing. It's some of the things that my grandparents did teach me, and we must learn to highlight and bring more awareness in the love and joy factor among one another, with young people and elders. Where does healing meet? Where does healing meet in history? Share your stories at YouTube in my channel at J Tire Form One. All right, so please share your liberation stories, your freedom stories at J Tire Form One. I'd like to hear from you. We're not talking about a holiday. We're talking about life. We celebrate Juneteenth on a regular. We celebrate freedom. We must learn to celebrate freedom, but find out, peg freedom, and appreciate what freedom means, and find more meaningful understanding, valid understanding about your emotional liberation and how it's linked to the rest of your life, how it's linked to the present, past, and future. There's some hidden weights in our lives. We must become more aware of it. There's definitely some hidden weights in our lives. Just make sure we become more aware of it. And it should become a collective effort. You know, Mental health and freedom to feel it matters. Freedom to feel, freedom to actually talk about it, having a safe space to talk about it. Juneteenth, listen, this is the time to celebrate that freedom, emotional freedom. Intergenerational dialogue is necessary as a tool. right? It is a tool, intergenerational. The older eagles cannot fly without the younger eagles, and vice versa. We are all flying together. Younger eagles, older eagles. And I guess y'all saying, well, listen, Grand Queen, you're always talking about the eagle because the eagle is our national bird, and it's one of the most amazing birds in flight, and it flies higher in flight. I'm talking about it soars. It doesn't fly, it soars, and the higher it soars, the more it surveys on the land. Its eyesight is just phenomenal, and if any other bird tries to attack it, it does what? It soars higher. And as it soars higher, that bird that has attacked it begins to lose oxygen and fall to the ground dead on arrival. I'm just saying. And that happens in life. Sometimes if we're not flying with other eagles, and then you got these other little critters attacking you, we're talking about the mindset, the bad minds and bad behavior and uh, biases and racial discrimination that tries to come and shut down your freedom, your emotional liberation, your emotional freedom, your physical freedom, your financial freedom, your social freedom. All those things are integrated. They're linked. They're connected. So it's like the spider. It's about the connection. The spider weaves a web different every gazillion time. So our pattern must be different. Our pattern for freedom, our pattern in understanding life and who we are among one another and the connection, it must be different. So we must spin the silk web of understanding. We must spin the silk web of love. We must spin the silk web of awareness and emotional support. This is the Grand Queen coming at you at the pit stop tonight. And listen, celebrating Juneteenth emotionally free, emotionally free, bringing more awareness to the emotional self and the trauma that that many have experienced in the Black community. Uh, but we are about, however, we can't, it's not swept under the rug, not at all. We want to just expose the hidden weights. What are some of your hidden weights that you've experienced and still traumatized by? You know, even today, for those of you who you believe you should have been off because it was a federal holiday, maybe that traumatized you. Maybe you're like, well, hey, why didn't my company or my community, why didn't everybody, why didn't all municipalities honor Juneteenth and you had to work? That says something. That says something that maybe many have been emotionally hurt by that because they were looking forward to not just a day off, but celebrating what? Love, celebrating the joy of being liberated, emotionally liberated, and financially liberated, and socially liberated. It's a part of it. So, what are some of your hidden weights that you experienced for because you were not off today? You were not acknowledged. You feel as though it just I just say disrespected. It's totally disrespected. So please go to J Tire Form 1 and leave your comments, like and subscribe, and leave your comments. We want to weigh in heavily on this and expose the hidden weights on emotional liberation. You want to be able to understand, uh, how to get through this, how to get to it, get with it, get through it, and remove those stigmas, remove the hurt, remove the pain, and share the types of therapy. What did you do to celebrate Juneteenth today and ongoing? Because listen, it's the whole week and beyond. I say celebrate the whole month of Juneteenth and beyond. This is not just like extended all the way. like just Black History Month. No, we must celebrate emotional liberation every day, all day, like it's new, and share among each other. It must be a collective effort and awareness. So, what does emotional freedom look like to you? Let's talk healing. Please share and like at Jade's Higher Form 1 on my YouTube channel at Just Us. You'll see it at the icon at the top there on our on this video. You can download this video. I would love to hear from you. Again, this is the Grand Queen coming at you, and we are all healing from some type of emotional trauma and drama, but we want to stop it. This is why we also call the Just Stop It show. We want to just stop it and begin to heal and begin to move forward in healing and make others understand and join in the movement of healing, right? So we'll be back uh, on next week for a special because this is June. We're taking time to really get to it for this month, and also summer is coming up officially. We really want to do more. We really want to be more supportive. And now, since it's been brought up, our emotional liberation, we want to be emotionally liberated. You know, our emotional health matters. As a people, we want to be emotionally liberated. So I'm coming back at you uh, for more specials on Juneteenth celebration. And please pass through. I need to hear from you on what matters to you, what matters to you most in your emotional journey, being emotionally liberated, right? And what is your therapy? How do you resist? You know, what are some of the things you have been naming? What type of therapy, and how do you honor joy and love in your life and your community? Are you embraced by that? Are you accepted? Or are you rejected? Let's talk about it. Let's release and talk about it. Much love, joy, and peace to you. And I'll be back with you on on another special pit stop because it's the mental health check-in. Just want to just be with you a little bit more in the month of June and support you more in love, support you more in honoring the joy of emotional liberation in your life. Peace, love, and joy.